Shalom, ki mitzion tetzei Torah, udvar Hashem mirushalayim. For from Zion comes out the Torah, and the word of Hashem from Jerusalem. Ki mitzion tetzei Torah, udvar Hashem. We're continuing our studying, understanding the roots, the deep roots of the Holiday of Passover. Until now we spoke about the difference between the chametz and the matzah, the leavened bread and the unleavened bread. And we spoke about the concept of eating and the different levels of eating and different means of eating. Do we eat to live, or do we concentrate on the less important parts, the flavor and the temptation of eating? Today I want to continue and understand how all this connects to the story of the worship, the enslavement, and the freedom of the enslavement in Egypt. In order to do that, I still want to go back to the very, very beginning, to the description of what Hashem tells Adam after the sin, of what is going to be the new situation of the land, of the ground. Because once we understand that, we'll try to connect that to the enslavement in Egypt. So let's read the verse. I'm reading in Genesis 3, verse 17, 18, 19. And to Adam he said, because you listened to your wife, and you ate from the tree from which I commanded you, saying, you shall not eat from it, cursed be the ground for your sake. With toil shall you eat of it all the days of your life. It will cause thorns and thistles to grow for you. You shall eat the herbs of the field. With the sweat of your face you shall eat bread until you return to the ground from where you were taken. For dust you are, and to dust you will return. If we divide that sentence into the different components of it, we'll see there are five or six different components of exactly what the curse was. So we'll start off with the first words, Arura ha'adama ba'avurecha. Translation: you should cursed be the ground for your sake. So first of all, we're starting with the ground, land, the earth be cursed. What does that mean? Its strength, its power is weakened, and it has a difficulty to allow the food to grow. If we said before the wheat was a tree and now it's just a stalk, so the land lost its power. It was cursed. Cursed be the land for you, because of you. The second thing it says, with toil you should eat it all the days of your life. So here we're already not talking about the curse of the land, but the suffering, the sadness, the pain in which we will be eating the fruits of the land. So we spoke about the land loses its power, and now we're talking about the sorrow, the pain, the suffering in which we will receive the fruit. We're going on, it talks about, and it will cause thorns and thistles to grow for you. Here we're already talking about not only the vegetable, the wheat, or the plant itself, but it will be mixed with parts that are less of importance, with parts that are actually bothering. So besides the fact that the land doesn't have its power to grow the fruit, the sorrow of the plant picking Also, it will grow unneeded parts. Let's continue on. And then it says, and you will eat the herbs of the field. Here, this is talking about the quality of the food that man is going to be eating. Until now, he was eating the trees, the fruits of the trees. Now he's eating the herbs, the grass of the land. Instead of man eating from the tree, he'll be eating sort of what animals are usually eating, and referred to in the Torah as the food of the animals. Now man's eating it. And finally, B'ze'at apecha tochal lechem, with the sweat of your face you shall eat bread. Here we're not only talking about the sorrow and the pain, but the fact that we are dependent on the bread. We have to work. We're enslaved to achieving our main food, which is bread. If we take these 5 things that I mentioned till now, the weakening of the land, the pain and the sorrow, the extra things, the thorns that will be growing near the fruit, the quality of the fruit eating from the ground instead of from the tree, and the enslavement, I could divide it actually into 2 different things. One is the new situation of the food. There won't be enough. It'll be less quality. There will be thorns together with it, and the new situation of the man: sorrow, pain, enslavement, and all this until you return to the land, the ground where you were taken from, because you are dust, and to dust you'll return. All of these components find themselves in Egypt. The hunger that brings the people of Israel to Egypt, and there they become slaves to Pharaoh, who bitters their life with much, much pain, suffering. And their slavery is in the plants of the ground, and the leftover stuff is exactly what they used to build the bricks of the cities that they had to build. And finally, the effort to bring death to this nation, to totally prevent the continuity of the people of Israel. So the eating and the enslavement are the 2 focal points of this holiday. Chag HaMatzot, the holiday of matzah, of eating, and Chag HaCherut, the holiday of freedom. The revolution that turned the wheat from a tree to a plant doesn't only change the form, the shape of the fruit, but it makes the path that man goes to all the way until he achieves his food a much longer one. From the moment a tree grows and puts roots in the ground, man doesn't have to invest too much effort to achieve his food. But the new shape of the wheat, with seeds instead of fruits on a tree, turns the whole path towards us achieving bread much longer and much more difficult. The plowing and the planting and the watering all year around. And then the different steps in sifting and separating the peeling from the actual seed. And then till you grind it, until it reaches the point where it is flour, and then pouring water in it, and mixing it, and turning it into one dough, and then baking it. All of this causes man to be enslaved to his existence. All of this was what happened in Egypt, where we were enslaved as a nation. And we're celebrating the holiday of freedom. To be continued. Shalom from Jerusalem. Please share, and please consider partnering with the Shalom Jerusalem Foundation, the global Zionist movement. Shalom and blessings from Jerusalem.